Another revision video on Lord of the Flies, looking at the style and technique of the novel. So going back to the central message, as we always do, you'll know that this is what I think. The novel is an exploration of the nature of evil in humankind. Right. First of all, the literary style of the novel. You should be aware that the novel is an allegory. Now, what an allegory is, it's a story that works on a literal level and a figurative level. So it has, it works on two meanings. So it has what literally is happening, so what is actually happening, and what is happening in a figurative and a more metaphorical. So what is being represented within. Examples are Animal Farm by George Orwell, where the farm animals revolt against the farmer, and this is to represent the Russian Revolution, or the Soviet Revolution in the early part of the 20th century, and Aesop's fables, so the tortoise and the hare. That is not just about a tortoise and a hare having a race. I hate to break that illusion for you, but it's about the idea that actually arrogance and confidence in your own ability it leads to complacency, where if you just kind of plod along slow and steady and keep on going, you will eventually win the race. So that they're both examples of allegory, stories that work on two different levels. So the literal meaning of Lord of the Flies is a group of boys stranded on an island and they have to fend for themselves. Simple. The figurative meaning of the novel is that the island is a microcosm. Okay, so the island is a microcosm of the world. Now, what a microcosm means is that it's the world condensed, so to speak, in its basic terms. So the events that happen on the island are representative of the events happening in the world, and the actions of the boys therein reflect those of humankind. So, in terms of technique, an allegory needs to will have symbols, okay, and Golding uses lots of different symbols in the novel that, they aren't just what they appear to be. So we have the island, we have the conch, we have Piggy's glasses, and we have the beast, and then and we find out something else. I'm going to get onto that later on in the video. But the island, the conch, Piggy's glasses, and the beast. So the island, as I said, it's a microcosm of the world. Everything that happens on the island is this concentration of global events. So the tribal war that they're having between Jack and Ralph, and the events that are going down, the breakdown of order. Golding is saying this is happening in society. Remember, he would have seen the First World War. He saw the Second World War. This was written in the 1950s. There's the Korean War going on, and this threat of the Cold War. So he was kind of seeing that, we're always fighting with each other. The island initially is presented as a natural paradise when it's untouched by humankind. However, the crash site of the plane carriage, so it's not a plane, it's like a passenger tube. So the plane gets away, but the tube carrying the passengers crashes on the island, and it leaves a scar on the island. So it damages the island. Humankind's first impact on the island damages it. The boys create fire, this kind of human power over beasts, is that we can control fire. They start fire and straight away destroy part of the island. We also see that in the final chapter the island is on fire, and that kind of links these biblical parallels. At the start is a paradise, it's the Garden of Eden, but we lose that paradise with the regression and this continual fighting and damaging our natural surroundings. And that final chapter of everything being on fire is the Inferno. It's a hellish landscape. The conch. It symbolises, quite simply, law and order. Firstly, the boys are in awe of the conch. When it's blown by Ralph, they all come along and they look at it, and it fascinates them. It has this colour and kind of gleam to it that they're fascinated with, but also with what it represents, the law and order that it represents. As the novel progresses, the conch diminishes. It loses its colour, and also, of course, it loses its significance at the same rate as the rules and law diminishes. And when it is broken, it is irreparably destroyed. It's completely smashed, and this signifies the ultimate regression into savagery. It means that they're kind of beyond help, as it were. Piggy's glasses, they symbolise foresight and common sense. So the idea about being able to see things clearly, and Piggy is able to see the gravity of the situation. He sees the most clearly in the novel. They also represent power. We allow William Golding, some poetic license, because you can't create fire with lenses from glasses, but we allow him that poetic license because he's trying to make a point. He's showing that the glasses can be used to create fire, which is a symbol of power. They crack, and some covers of the novel have an image of broken spectacles on them. And this shows how the fight has diminished the vision and foresight. So the conflict, it's Jack, isn't it, that he kind of pushes Piggy and the glasses fall off and they break. So that conflict, as small as it may seem, has kind of broken the symbol of foresight and common sense on the island. The beast. First of all, it is the boys' fear. It's something that they project. They're all scared, but they kind of project. It's like the monster in the closet. I'm scared, or something like hiding under the bed. Because I'm scared, I have to project it onto something else, and it's this unspecified creature. It's got different physical, and I put physical manifestations in inverted commas. Because actually it's not a physical manifestation of the beast, is it? They're imagining it. So they think that it's a snake, which are the creepers. It's the parachutist. Simon is thought to be the beast twice in the novel, and then we have the Lord of the Flies, the pig's head. As I said, though, these physical manifestations are imagined. They are not physical at all. The real manifestation, physical manifestation of the beast is in their behaviour. So when they break the rules, when they fight with each other, when Roger throws the stones, when they're cruel to each other, when there's bullying going on, and when that kind of gets worse and worse and worse, to the death of Simon, the death of Piggy, and then this hunting down of Ralph. That's the real physical manifestation of the beast. So there's an irony here that what they think of the physical manifestations is their imagination. What really is the beast being manifested is in their own behaviour. And as a result, the beast kind of changes. It goes from being something representing their fear to representing their innate evil, which of course is something to be fearful of, but something within them. The beast lurks within them, and that is the evil in humankind. Mankind's essential illness, Simon calls it. What if it's only us? He says it. He sees the image of the beast, and it's an image of a man. And as they regress further, as they go backwards into that primal state, the beast increases in significance. By the end of the novel, it has become the object of worship, and they leave the pig's head as a gift for the beast. And here we go on. Lord of the Flies is an extension of the beast. And it is physically manifested in the pig's head. This is quite a gross and disgusting image. We shouldn't ignore that. It is the image of a kind of a decomposing pig, or at first it's a freshly killed pig's head, pig, and it's the head on a stick. So it's quite a graphic image, and so, as I said, it's a graphic and a gruesome image. It's a physical manifestation of the beast, yet it's still a product of the imagination. Simon's not really talking to a pig's head in the novel. He's imagining it. And it's suggested that this is part of one of his epileptic fits. It's like he could feel one of his turns coming on, or one of his moments coming on. But we see that him talking to the beast, this is within his imagination. It becomes the symbol of evil in the novel, and again, many editions of the novel have a pig's head or something to do with a pig on the front cover. Now, Lord of the Flies, many of you probably know this, the significance of the title and the Lord of the Flies. Lord of the Flies is a literal translation of Beelzebub. Beelzebub is a demon, and it's often, I think Beelzebub is a Hebrew term for a demon, but has often been associated with the devil himself. Okay, so the Lord of the Flies equals the devil. Okay, so now when I keep on going back to the Lord of the Flies is about the nature of nature of evil in humankind. Well, it's called the Lord of the Flies. It's called the devil, effectively. So we see Golding has chosen this symbol and this is the title of the novel for that reason. Now let's look at some of the technique within the novel. First of all, the language. There's lots of figurative language. If you looked at my Of Mice and Men video when I looked at language, I said that the language was clear and direct. Well, this is figurative. Okay, it's symbolic, and that emphasizes this allegorical nature of the novel. There's lots of language specifically linked to nature and the natural world. The description of the island, the description of the boys. Jack, when he's hunting, at one point he kind of sniffs the air like an animal, and the fire is described as an animal, a squirrel, I think, leaping from the tree, from tree to tree. Now, through this language, the natural world, the island, that of course represents the natural world, it's presented as both beautiful but also cruel. Okay, and we see that in nature. We see something of great beauty also being incredibly cruel in terms of this kind of dog-eat-dog world, the food chain and so forth. A creature that is as majestic as a lion still has to go out and hunt and kill rather savagely, a zebra for his tea. The language is, as well, it's graphic and it's violent and it's exploring that regression of the boys. So he doesn't pull any punches, Golding. He goes, straight for the jugular. Now, in terms of structure, the novel starts off like a boy's own adventure. This typically British, and Coral Island, I think, is referred to. That was a boy's own adventure. This idea about boys surviving on an island and just getting on with it because they're good, well-spirited British boys. Because of this, they are initially confident. They think that they're going to get through. They think they're going to get rescued. They're just going to survive because of their good old-fashioned stiff upper lip, this good old-fashioned British resilience that they have. However, the progression of the novel correlates. So in terms of the structure of the novel, as it progresses, as the story progresses, so they regress. They go backwards. They go backwards into that primal state. And then the end of the novel, the end is really important. Some people get frustrated with it because and if you've seen The Simpsons, and I would encourage you to watch The Simpsons kind of parody of the novel, people criticize that the novel just suddenly ends, and they have this narrator in The Simpsons that says, oh they'll get rescued by, let's say, Mo. This idea that he doesn't know how to end it, so suddenly they get rescued. But that's not the point. The point of the ending is we have this naval officer, and he looks at them and goes, just like Coral Island, he has this mistaken view that everything's been okay. Good British boys have been able to survive on this island. But this mistaken view shows that the lessons aren't learned, and history will be cyclical. In other words, this has happened before, and it will happen again because we are not learning from our previous mistakes.